Welcome back to a new edition of The Way to the Top. On the last edition, we talked about you really discovering yourself. Who are you? But today we shall be talking about what exactly do you want. My name is Prince Yemi Kasali, and today's edition, let's talk about what you really want. What you really want is a very simple thing. Everybody should know what they want, but it's unfortunate that we don't really know what we want. Not everybody can say exactly what we want. And this is not really our fault. It is about our upbringing. As a child, we all go for whatever we want. Crawl towards what you want. When you don't really want something, you react. But as we are coming up, we are being trained to adapt to what we don't really want, to fear things, adapt to whatever comes our way. For example, as a child, you always hear, keep off from there, stay away from that place, touch that, don't do this, don't do that. Those are the things we were grown up to understand. What we always hear is money does not grow on trees. Can't you think of anybody apart from yourself? Stop being selfish. Don't you know this has to do this first before you can do it, and so on. So all these things has limited us to think that we have to manage and say things the way they want us to say it. As a result, we now do a lot of things we don't want to do, but that please a lot of other people. For example, we go to school, choose to go for medicine just because our dad says so. I could remember I felt I could do better in commercial class because I hate cramming, I hate big grammars. I only love to go to class, listen, and be able to comprehend it with what happens in our environment. You know, when it comes to commercial, it's more of thinking, more of what you see, more of what you can apply. But when it comes to science class, it's about you talking about some formulas that you never saw or you never understand how it becomes that. But then my dad insisted that I must be a science student. So halfway to the first term, when I was in SS1, I was forced to be a science student. So I went to science class just because my dad wanted it. Everybody does one or two things because their parents want it. I can remember when I was about to get married, it's always about my mom trying to tell me, don't marry short person, don't marry people from this zone. So everybody is just guiding you. So most of the time, we don't really know what we want. We don't really know what our dream is because we are always channeled towards what some other people believe it is what we want. And you can never blame them. They also pass through the same system. So they are passing the system to you for you to pass to your children and for your children to pass to your great-grandchildren. So that is the way it works. We don't really know what we want. In the name of being sensible and responsible, or in the name of being obedient, we follow other people's desire. That's the way we are brought up. But to be sincere with you, we really need to know what we want and go for what we want if you want to be successful. To be successful, you need to beat that. That is why we always have 1%, or let me say 10%, to exaggerate, of the world population being successful, because those 10% got themselves out of the normal way of life. A normal person does not know what he wants or what she wants. But for you to know that, you have to take further step out of that belief system. Okay, maybe you should give yourself a test and you'll see exactly what I was trying to say. For 10 to 15 minutes, meditate, look for a cool place, or look for someone to ask you this question repeatedly. What do I want? Or if somebody is asking you, what do you want? Let that person keep asking that question repeatedly for about 10 to 15 minutes. Jot down what exactly is your want. Then you discover that the first 10 minutes or the first 8 minutes, what you will be writing down is going to be, I need a car, I need a house, travel out. But those are not really what you want. Because those things are what you see as a result of being successful. That is why you thought you want them. And to be sincere with you, those things are not even what you should be looking onto. Money will come when you're successful. But the success is not the money. It is that thing that you want, that you did, that will bring money. For example, let me put in my story again. Dad will ask me, what do you want to become? Then I say, I want to become a soldier. But as I was growing up, I was scared of becoming a soldier. Why? Because I don't want to kill and I don't want to be killed. But later on, when I grew up and I understand the reason why I wanted to become a soldier was that leadership. I only wanted to be a leader. I wanted to be in charge. I wanted to be powerful. But those days, it was military days. So if you are not a soldier, you cannot become a president, you cannot become a governor. So I was looking at being a soldier as being a leader. That was how I could comprehend in those days. That if I become a soldier, I'll be in charge. But to be sincere with you, something within is not about being a soldier. It's about being a leader. So it is always very difficult for you to really understand what you want. And you need to know it before you can go further. Now, as I was saying, gradually when you start that meditation or when someone starts interviewing you, at the end of the list, when you are short of word, then you start like saying yourself, like, okay, I want people around me to love me. I want to be in charge. I want to be powerful. That routine will start coming. Like I said, it is not easy for you to discover what you want because of our background. But you must discover what you want. Another issue why most of us don't really discover what we want is not because we don't want it. Something in us tells us like, I want football. I love football. But you start looking at yourself like, can I play football? But you've forgotten that there are a lot of things that are attached to football. For example, you can play ball. You can become a writer, a football writer. You can become a photographer. You can become a manager. You can become a broadcaster. You can become a blogger. You can become a camera operator. There are a lot of things that are attached to football. For example, I love traveling and I love talking to new people. Then you ask yourself, what can I become with that? You can become a blogger, going around, interviewing a lot of people. People are making cool money online by doing that. So there are a lot of things that you can become. But all you just need to do is to discover what you want. You've discovered who you are. For example, I'm a teacher. Then what do I want? I want to train people. To do what? To understand one or two things. So what do you think is my pleasure? Money. I love money. So why don't I teach people to earn money, to be successful? So those are the logic. You need to really understand what you want. And you have to know two things. You need to discover where you are right now and where you are working towards. You don't really need to know exactly how you're going to get there. But the mind is like a GPRS. You just type in your location and you type in where you are heading to. There's going to be a satellite that will direct you towards where you're going. That is how the mind works. When you discover where you are and you know exactly where you are going, there is always going to be a connection that would gradually lead you towards how to get there. The most important thing is for you to know where you are and where you're going. And the mistake we always do is we want to know how to get there. Leave that to nature. Leave that to the law of attraction. Somebody said, when there is need for people to fly in the air, there came aeroplane. So things will always work your way. All you just need to do is to be clear of who you are. Then be clear of what you want. Then be clear of where you are heading to. All other things will be solved. Thank you very much. My name remains Prince Yemi Kasani. Thank you.